What's up guys, back with these Fire home studio lights because it's a little darker outside and it's not enough daylight to light my beautiful face. So today I just wanted to go over a couple things, two fundamental rules for firearms that I've picked up, and then also grip position and basics of aiming. And again, I want to stress I'm not an expert at any of these. I've just been learning for the past couple weeks. I fired firearms before, probably for the past couple years, probably in more than 10 times, less than 20, but for the past 3 or 4 sessions I've been actively training to be proficient in firearms, so I just wanted to share what I've learned so far. So let's get to it. Every time I pick up a firearm, I always look to see if it's loaded. So because this has a clip in it, if it's not loaded, this is, I can't say if this is for all firearms, but this is for a Glock 19 Gen 4. If you have a clip in it and the clip has no ammo, when I pull back, it's just gonna remain cocked. And let's say it was loaded. I'll just take the clip out, assume that it was loaded. If I pull back, I would look into the chamber to see if there's any bullets in it. So just put it in so you can hold, so I can hold the, so it's hold it back. So if you were to look in here and it was loaded, you would see some brass in there because bullets are brass copper colored. If it's in there, then you know it's loaded, and there's one in the chamber. So even though I know I don't have any ammo in this apartment, I always check every time just to make a good habit out of it. That's rule 1, is just always check and know if the gun is loaded. I always check to make sure, even if I'm at the range, if I'm at home, if I'm anywhere. I don't carry, I don't have any ammo, but I always make it a good habit to check every time I pick up a firearm. But that's one rule 1 I picked up. Rule 2 is trigger discipline. So I thought this would be common sense, and I guess it's not really. Some people just, for whatever reason, I don't know. Every time when I first started shooting, I knew this isn't a toy. So whenever you hold the gun, if you don't intend on shooting it, don't have your finger in here, on the trigger. So if you don't intend on shooting it, don't have it here, unless you intend on shooting it. So every time I pick it up, I always have my finger out to the side like this before I'm ready to shoot, and that's just out of good habit. At home, I always, when I'm just practicing things like drawing and whatnot, I always just have it on the side, so just keep good habit. It's actually 3 things. And then the third thing is don't point the gun at anything you don't want to shoot at. So it's not a toy. You don't want to aim this at anyone unless you intend on shooting them. Even though this isn't loaded, I don't aim it at anything or anyone that I don't intend on shooting. So it's not a toy. This isn't a toy. So this is a lethal weapon that can kill someone. So rule 1, I always check to see if the firearm is loaded every single time. 2, have good trigger discipline. Don't have it on the trigger unless I intend on shooting something. And then 3, I don't point the gun at anything that I don't intend on shooting. So in terms of grip, this is how I was taught by someone, my friend Tom. He's really into firearms, so this is where I got it from. You're gonna want to have your, I'm right-handed, so you're gonna want to get up as high as you can on the gun, up here, as high as you can with your thumb. Grip it, and then you want this finger as high up as you can, up by the trigger area, and then this up here tight, thumb over here, and then I'm gonna take my left hand and put this on front of my right hand up here, get it as high as I can, and then I'm gonna cover this portion of the gun with my hand, roll it back, and then I just have my thumbs pointing forward. And then my other side right here is what you'll see is good trigger discipline, remember that. And then when you're ready to fire, you're gonna want to keep your thumb straight forward and then do whatever you need to do. So, aiming the sights. So this is a Glock sight, so they're pretty known for this weird, they have a dot up here and then the square. So you're gonna want to line up the front sight line up the front sight with this back sight so that it's flush, and then that point where it's flush, once it's flush, the bullet will go to the top of that. So that's the front sight right here, back sight, and then you're gonna want to line this front sight up so it fits back here and it's flush. So let's see if I can do this on the camera. I think that's something right there. There we go. So if you see that, it's moving around because I'm not a robot, but once you line it up, that flush part, that's where the bullet's gonna go. So you want to also, when you're aiming, you don't want to focus on the back sight or the target. You want to be focusing on this front sight. You want this to be focused and clear. And then you can see the target still, but you're not focused on the target, if you want to be accurate at least. So there's one more thing I want to talk about. I forgot what it was. Oh, I remember. Okay. So in terms of the grip, some people, this is a thing that some people may, or new people may do. So when you grip this up high and you grip it right here, some people may have the tendency to maybe put their thumb like this or something, or somewhere behind the slide. And there's a good video of this online by a guy named Hickok, I think, and he demonstrates what happens. But essentially, when you fire this firearm, let me get this. This portion is going to come back so fast and hard that you do not want your thumb to be back here. So the example that the video I saw on YouTube, he put a hot dog right here.
Why you don't want your thumb back there, okay? Now, I'll probably get a face full of hot dog here, we'll see. I did. Okay, you don't want that to be your finger, all right?
And then when you fire and this thing comes back, it's gonna rip your finger. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt. So when you are holding the gun, get as high as you can up here, but don't be like up here or something, or don't be right here and then like your thumb's over here, or else this thing's gonna come back real hard and you're gonna have a bad time. So that's the fundamentals, I think. Again, anyone can correct me if I missed something, or if I did something, or I explained something that you think is wildly wrong. To recap, it's always check to see if the firearm's loaded, pull back, look down, see if there's any bullets in there. Since I have a magazine, it's gonna remain open. This is for a Gen 4 Glock 19. I can't say the same for any other guns. Look to see if it's loaded. Trigger discipline, thumb or finger never on the trigger unless you're ready to shoot. Always have it on the side. Don't aim the gun at anything that you don't intend on shooting or wouldn't want to shoot. And then grip high up, high as you can. This portion of your hand as high as you can. High as you can. And then you take your other hand, get as high as you can underneath this trigger part. Roll back and cover this portion with your hand. Thumbs pointed forward. And then line up the sights. Focus on the front sight. Line it up with the back sight, but have the front sight clear. And then where it's flush up top, that's where your bullet's gonna hit. So, oh, and don't keep your thumb behind it again, or else you're gonna have a bad time. So that's all. Just wanted to go over those basics, those little fundamentals that I learned that I think are pretty essential for learning and safely firing and training with firearms. So until tomorrow, peace, homies. Oh, yes, that lighting, that half natty lighting though, am I right? Peace.